Hello and welcome back to Disco Elysium. I'm XYZard, and let's get back in. I don't know where and when I can sleep.
Hello, sir. How is the investigation going? Found any curses yet? Oh, that's
Yep.
great! I hope exciting adventures lie ahead. And maybe you can help Mother become less afraid.
Yep. Hey, who's this guy? He's new. Sleeping dock worker. A man sleeping at the table wearing mud-caked boots and rolled-down overalls. The back of his shirt reads, Wild Pines, circled by a logo with a tree.
A colourful piece of plastic is dangling from his carabiner. On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine. The man does not mind. You probably need them more than he does.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above.
Okay.
It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. A young, able-bodied man stares back at you from the photo. Santiago S. John. Your fingers find their way into the shackle.
Great.
Flicking open its spring-loaded gate. The man emits a loud snore. Is he about to wake up? Doesn't look like it. But you slip the plastic ID card out of the loop just for the record. You look nothing like the man on the document. No, he's looking the other way. Perhaps purposefully. You find a black paper note with a woman's profile on it. Yum yum. Money. Think of all the things you can buy with it. The sleeping dock worker has little to say about your actions.
I'm a thief. Gotta spend money to make money. Hey, Gart.
Can I help you? God.
Oh, but he should be. Lay it on him.
Wonderful.
It is. It's wonderful.
What? What does that mean? Carousel. Does it mean you talked to her? What else did she say about me?
What else do you need? He looks at you, spinning your arms, then leans on the corner and sighs. His head drops between the shoulders, heavy and defeated.
She broke the bird, you know. The great skewer. I found it on the ground with the broken wing. On the morning. I should have known. It was her way of telling me to piss off. I should stuff it up my arse.
Or you broke the bird. It can also be that. I think Sylvie even. Yes, the bird is connected to this. It's a symbol of hope, and she broke it.
Cock carousel. I think I understand now. That's what they ride until...
Jeez, I'm turning this guy into a misogynist.
They ride the cock carousel until the clock runs out. Here, have the rest. Now, let me have a drink and think about this shit for...
And there we have it. Isn't...
Fixed by Dr. Love. Pine trees. Tomato.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook.
1 second. Gotta use nasal spray.
As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Goransi Quebec. Please, it's not funny. The man puts his cup down and replies something. His left hand, he smiles and bangs his ladle against it. It's almost like music, especially with the sound.
Well, that was lame.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen.
The winch, outside, in the backyard. Remember? No, your fingers do.
Well, if there was a winch, I suppose we could look into it. As Gart is the person to ask about this.
Yeah.
Cafeteria manager.
Inexplicable feminist agenda.
All right.
There is something you need to see, sir. We found the remnants of an ancient artifact lodged in your hypothalamus. It is a cylindrical object, piss-weathered and smelling of liquor. The paint is peeling off, but you can clearly make out the letters Revolutionary Feminist Agenda on the hull. It appears that some time ago, before you became a joke, you were an actual feminist.
Maybe. Love and be loved by drugs. Shivers. Savoir faire.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. Oh, yes, that door. Sure. There's nothing mysterious about
What's
it.
about behind it?
No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there.
Wondering about it is, of course,
Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk.
he's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely...
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place
Nice.
100 times.
Another level
over,
up.
though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck with... Yes?
Perception. Composure. Ready, aim, fire. Spirit decor. Was this guy here before?
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer. Feel like
A simple
weirdo.
little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
from another planet. Hey there. It's the jam, my man.
Okay.
The air from the east is thick with the smell of crude oils.
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs at. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Upon days. Feels
How long
like
you been
forever.
here?
Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout.
Mazout is an antiquated term for heavy fuel oils. This man has a barely suppressed performative streak, or he just likes unusual words, or both.
I dig your
Yeah,
style.
Imagine. It's been a whole week already.
I'm giving Xena some more space on the windowsill. She likes that. Don't you, Xena? Her fluffy tail's wagging.
So tell me, what do you need? Huh? Oh. No, I ain't got any money. The bosses, man.
I guess.
Yeah, it sure ain't good for me. Or you. I'd spare a coin or two for a city cop down in his luck. If I had, say, 4 myself. He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here. Keep him busy.
Fair enough.
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose.
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries and their sad, despondent chauffeurs.
What's your
A sense of
conclusion?
surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees.
What about the
It's like-
strike?
Whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade.
Going on strike would probably help you dodge a bullet or two.
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's
Uh-huh.
up. Precise demands and so on.
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Maybe you should. Cops don't get paid much and the hours are long. Plus, you can get shot.
The RCM is a self-managing organization that operates on donations. We promote our own leaders. It would be like striking against your own mother. Okay, but do continue. You were asking about the strike?
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise.
Uh-huh.
I just do my job and get paid. Us lorry drivers, camionneurs, who still
Camionneurs.
hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really.
I know that
Not
feeling.
my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
Get on you, man.
He tries his best to look nonchalant, but there's a rigidity in him, as if trying to conceal something warm and deep beneath a cool exterior.
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms,
Well-
stuff like that.
Really?
Relax. He's merely joking.
Can't even get a few jokes past you, my man.
Huh.
I've got another haul of found cargo. Mostly sporting goods, tracksuits, and that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
They usually get shipped to Grad in the Occident, though we've been making headway in the Il Moran market lately. This rockin' beauty
Mm-hmm.
sure is like a rash you can't get rid of.
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of...
Neat.
You're neat.
For carrying large quantities of cargo a long distance. These found tracks, we're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. Not
Nothing
unless
illegal.
they were legalized sports equipment while I was on the road.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically. against his arm. Ease into it. Don't go too far. This seems like a personal matter.
I'm okay, man. Just the jams got me down. The
Mhm.
fumes, the chemical rainbows, the tarpaulin stretched on the frames and the dull engines off.
Maybe the full-on direct approach wasn't correct.
Don't be a stranger.
Yeah, it's kind of chill. Humanox.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island.
Who is
A
this?
silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III."
Philip.
As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd, something with
Indentation.
great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the Kura. Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
Okay, I can see it. Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution. But the statue is recently renovated, so maybe a joke? Target practice or a political statement? Why not?
Political.
What this shows us is guns aren't too uncommon here, and people still shoot them.
The king stands high above you, surveying the bay, mute
Yep.
and indifferent to your sight. Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy.
In what way?
Well, he blew through the whole national treasury.
Oh, great. Good job.
Starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line, and the
How do you blow
stories
through it
have
all?
that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber.
Great.
Where he stored, he called it the Sol Aurum. It was obscene. There were
Obese
whispers
dragon.
He slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon. But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction.
Fabled cocaine
You
addiction.
see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. He was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy. That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later, right before they emptied out the royal cocaine.
Cocaine.
His Majesty's courtiers said
Yeah.
beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, the
What happened
original
there?
was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships during the turn-of-the-century revolution. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards had more time, they would have reduced it up to even finer pieces. Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue.
That's
The
nice.
statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of. People in Martinez tend to disagree, as do many prominent art critics. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, not that he ever did in life either. Wow, you work hard.
I do.
Oh, yes, you hustle. You're a provider. Oh, yeah, like a horse. Look at
What do I do?
yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked too. That is
Okay.
the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is hard.
I ride
That's
till I die,
just what
bitch.
It's like life and death. But you got gills on your side, baby. Got those black papers with the faces.
Okay,
of the-
okay.
It ain't easy, but you do it day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop and a sprinter and a money printer. You didn't
Yep.
log that in as a donation either. You don't log any of that shit in. You're a straight. Wasn't easy getting that giant novelty check from Everard. Took some ingenuity to get into the harbor, but you got in, and you took
Exactly.
that bribe. Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you not about to have an anxiety attack
I
or
won't
shoot
have an
yourself
attack.
in the mouth? But you still hustle 24/7, ride or die.
Yep.
Are you rich? That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave, and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that? The Guardsman has set himself up one of those self-replicating money structures. You should learn from it. Don't play the victim. Think because of the taxes. G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket. Stealing on taxes almost non-existent in the Gotham estate. That is Revachol. You and I both, but they got those indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty,
A bunch of taxes.
extraction tax. This tax, 98% of all your money. Here you go, hustler. Fight the righteous fight. Free the people.
Yeah.
Keep it real. Keep it street.
How to get more thoughts? Cold-blooded. Let's check out that corpse again, I guess. Let's check out this.
A Stars Riker, one of the finest Zhimsk made
Who
not
drives
many
that?
people outside of Grad, and Revachol West too.
Estage Raiko KK2. That's a classic model. Never thought I'd see another one repainted after what happened last time. An old
Last time?
case for my precinct. A couple of Jim's migrants saw a Stage Raiko stopped in the street, painted just like this, muddy brown. Murdered the driver on the spot.
Alright, the cat left, so I can close the window real quick. Well, that sucks.
They said it was an honor killing, Hussar style. The James
Hussar.
community protested the trial, flying the banners of some old king or whatever. 5,000 came to protest.
Sounds like a lot.
Correction. 4,395. The fourth largest public protest of a criminal trial in Revachol.
Is that so, officer? I'll take you at your word. People we are paid to protect. Let's leave it at that. 4 years for murder in Reunion.
That sounds very low.
Perps were remorseful. Their sorry knocked 8 years off the sentence. That's the system.
The
Boo.
prisons in the greater Revachol Industrial Harbor are already full. Prisoners are expensive to maintain. The longer the sentence, the larger the cost.
I try to avoid drawing far-gone conclusions like this before actually examining the body. But my initial guess is the two are unrelated. Yes, detective? Okay, I'm not going to honor kill anyone over this. But I've seen it blue and white. It's much better that way.
I hope I can still sleep in that room. Cuno.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated. As you breathe in, the odor comes over you. It's a smell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. With your hands
shit.
at your sides and your eyes squinting, you stand in it.
They do after 7 days, yes. We are deep in decomposition here.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enameled boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins, and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength. The material appears to be ceramic.
Weird.
Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them. Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow. These are clearly not boots. They're armor. Possibly...
Indeed. Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots.
Oh,
Yes.
The lieutenant uses a mnemotechnique A6. That's not just any notebook. It's a classic. It's clearly some manner of super armor. Or future armor. Super future armor.
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be. Under the hill. Fair weather. Fair weather model
All right.
T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff. Piece by piece. He's been out here for 7 days. It would be odd if they didn't. We
Fair
should
enough.
keep a lookout for these pieces. The armor could yield information.
The sabatons dangle off the man's decaying form.
It is. It's expensive. We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics. For
Wow.
a full set, about 4
Wow.
years of wages.
For the northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income is 5,500 real, unadjusted for rank.
Not too much, yes. It's a sorry situation, I agree. It is. We've requested for a full...
For the northwest,
By catching, do you mean let's not lock down the evidence? Let's steal them? Of course.
the lieutenant nods often. It's part of his unplastic expression range, communicating both professionalism and sarcasm.
That's for us to find out.
Yeah.
Mr. Gart implied he was security personnel for the harbor company. This confirms my own assumptions. Just something I scraped together from my station. An area report on Martinez. I'm sure you did the same. I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
A small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on the side of a porcelain cup.
It's
Fragile.
anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally, from plate to plate, dissipating it entirely. See?
Faint, organic
I
lines
see.
cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates until there are hundreds of them altogether. Like whirls of floorboards, the design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignum vitae and ebony perhaps. If trees were made of porcelain, this is what the cross-sections would look like. The smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnections, peaking on the right sabaton, where you notice. The whirls are in the shape of a letter and number combination, E50
Serial number.
Can you read it to me?
X54156745678222. Let's lie.
We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us.
The stench fills your nostrils.
Stop! Pig's gonna pull his head off.
Brutal!
You're about to pull his head off.
Do it, Homo!
Stop obsessing about your security officer. You are about to seriously compromise the coroner.
Indeed, From this angle, it does look like the neck isn't going to take much more.
What
Liquefy
are
the
you
muscles.
trying to achieve anyway? Why are you hanging on to that boot? How many clues do you need? You already found a number. Besides, there's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been flowing down into the boots. They are fused
Icky.
to his feet now.
You're sure there's a way to peel them off, but first the body needs to be down. And second, it would probably be better if the anticipation makes you crack your fingers. Feels nice.
Nice and cracky.
and cracky.
Processing will take care of them. With the situation in the morgue, it will yield nothing. But we must pick our fights. Should we?
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt. The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch. This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for tying cargo under 6-rotor airships.
Airlifting. I
Wow.
thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them. The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was on hand without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves.
Do we know they did
I'm
it?
still approaching this as a lynching, yes, motivated by the ongoing strike. You? 70% of the cases I get are just filling in the blanks on the initial report. This belt worries me. I was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed. A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around. That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory. The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks.
A map of the stars.
Maybe.
I do see some similar...
As if someone left out most of the night sky, filtering it through personal choice. The principle of this filter remains unknown to you. The thought dissipates, and you feel as though you were only half right.
So am I.
He wears a wide leather belt around his waist, and he takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed.
A Trigger Sunshine. Mini.
Triggered is the world's leading manufacturer of intercommunication.
Shit, Cuno! What the fuck is that?
An instant color camera. I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the
Womp womp.
breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see
In case we need it. Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
there is only one ampoule left.
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter. To us. Sure. Just don't lose it.
Thank you.
The glassy-eyed corpse looks. His eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding
Comically?
from
Wow.
the sockets.
That's dark.
There is no one home. Just a dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unreckoned. I'm gone.
Holy crap.
Into the wild pale yonder. In the past. Way out. I'm a joke. Look at me. A killer. A motherfucker. Go ahead. What do you mean? It's the power of your magic. Go ahead. Because you're a
Caparuni.
Look at all of them go. Coming right up. Fuck no. You're no Rooney. Listen to yourself. You're not a Raphael anything. You're probably just... You can be anything you want. Brother.
Who killed you?
Love did me in, Brother Copo. It was love all along. Because you have. Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Looking at my face, motionless, looking into my eyes, standing here. Why are you investigating my murder? I am all you have. Then you truly lost it all, brother. Do I remind you of something?
A child born with Mona's disease, harlequinism, grown up miraculously.
You sure wriggled out of that one? Come back later, Corpo.
As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blur. This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position at the time of death match the...
Maybe.
Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse...
I see it. His neck too. The lividity...
The monster comes back into focus. An explosion
of color,
coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with
fatty.
Something. Black liquid streams down his thigh and onto his boot.
So, what do you think?
I think he's dead.
I agree.
His personality is no longer
totally dead. That sounds about right, yes. Agreed, especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis supports a hanging. There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first. I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made our jobs harder with their little sport.
Yeah, fuck off, Cuno.
Stop talking in riddles, coin slot.
It means you fucked him up good, Cuno. Fucked him up brutal-like.
A pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet. Purge.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digestion at the time of death.
The fuck he saying?
Cuno's really stupid.
Talking about shit.
Maybe.
But there is no...
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt.
Of course. You have come back late.
Let's get him down.
The steel reinforced belt presents a unique challenge.
New skill point,
I brought
yay.
some cutters, but I don't see a good angle of a...
He doesn't actually think the challenge is unique.
The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength material.
BRB. Alright, we are back.
Someone else? You mean...
What was that about processing, then? Weren't they supposed to take care of the boots?
No. Think of the boys from processing as murderers. Only instead of people, they murder crime scenes. Processing is a... I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us. And we have a growing sanitary concern here. We need to get him down, fast. Climb up there and... There has to be a less risky way, with less falling down of trees. I was really hoping we wouldn't. The Union appeared to be suspect in this case.
I would really prefer if there was another way. These people might have an agenda. But what other options? The corpse twists on the back.
Yeah! Bang bang time, pig! Shoot his head off!
God damn it.
How?
Where the buckle ties the rope to the branch. That's a good spot to aim.
Where? Ah, yes.
Yeah, now we're talking. entertain a Cuno with some shit.
They'll miss. The pigs will miss Cuno.
I'll blow his head off.
Take it.
Yeah, take the shot.
Silence. With and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks, securing it in place. That's a Kiel A9090. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches.
Say nothing.
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding town.
God damn it.
He missed.
A lot of things were wrong with that shot. The fellow's desk was the wrong choice. His shoulders were raised, but above all, he cannot trust his eyesight.
Fucking idiot! Mookabat ass!
Cuno could have hit it easy, but then Cuno's not fucking handicapped as Cuno's sorry too. Cuno feels sorry for the beat.
The lieutenant doesn't say a word.
No, we are lucky as it is. We didn't bring any more mistakes. Remain collegial, officer. I have to say,
You know, you don't.
it's bad as it is. Us should go ahead. I'm not stopping you.
They only have one gun.
Shut up.
This is the sorriest pair of pigs Cuno's ever seen.
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana boyka. Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth.
The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. You've held this.
Good.
An A9.
The fuck are you waiting for?
The buckle comes into focus in your sights.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss. Do it! Set me free!
Don't.
Do it!
Intense shit, copper.
Don't wave this gun! It wasn't intense, it was pathetic!
Your field of view narrows. The
Great.
branch slowly moves. The slow movement of the branch in the wind.
Look, he's crying! You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty? Or what? You gonna fuck me? You wanna fuck me, pig? Is that what this is about?
I shot the corpse.
A plume of smoke erupts from the barrel. You missed the belt, but hit the corpse straight in the chest.
Oh my god, he's gonna fucking cry, I know!
Ask for another shot. You'll get it with the next one. The goddamn light
The cadaver is already compromised bad.
It came out wrong. There is
Vitupa wants to fuck up again bad! It's the song of my people, asshole!
Don't provoke her.
Shot him in the...
It's not the gun's fault you can't shoot. It's
pigs don't have hands, they have like...
Cuno has hands. Cuno can shoot that shit down.
That's preposterous!
We still need to get him down, somehow. The bad way. The way I didn't want us to. By asking the harbor for help. They have the tools to ask the suspects for help with the victim's body. To be indebted to Evrard Clare. Clearly we can.
Suck my dick, bitches!
God damn, I should have leveled up first.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and what? As you narrow, this is a trick. Only the lower extremities up. The cadaver slowly twists.
Yes?
Shivers, perception. Ah, great. Yeah, good thing we already went through here. It is getting kind of late. I did not see this earlier.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here.
Yes, it was probably you. It does bear the RCM insignia, after all. The service cloak issued to you by your station? Yeah.
As your fingers touch the top,
Hey! What are shivers again? Hey, I look like less of a dweeb now. Somewhat, at least. Hey, Everett Clear, help us out here. Hey, what if this guy knows what those tattoos are about?
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. No trouble at all, mister. No.
New trouble, mister.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair. Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that.
the only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means. I'm only kidding, of course.
Of course. I understand. We help you, you help us.
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everett, I call you Harry.
That's what the hanged corpse called you. Harry.
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you?
Maybe.
What are the odds of that?
I think the odds of that are very low.
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first.
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong.
Yeah.
However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out. With my big fat folder.
Words flow like a river of honey from his lips. I guess word has already reached him. No matter. It's just a brown folder.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now.
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
But of course, Harry. Your precinct is the 41st and you live in Jamrock. You're a Jamrock boy. A long way from home, but that's okay.
Okay, Everett.
He doesn't really seem to know any more about
Family? Harry, you're not a family man. There's not one peep of family in here. Unless you think you're a family man. Do you? Family, Harry, is the most important thing in the world. Well, Harry, if I were to sum you up in one word, it would be apologetic.
Really?
Yes. You seem to be. A lot of the time. But right now, there's no reason to be. Let loose a little. Be you.
He's probably just making a guess based on your recent activity in Martinez.
It's Harry. Harry Dubois.
You don't feel like either one of these things. You know what your name is. You have a sophisticated name, like that of a count, or a
Fine, Harry. You can even be Harry Raphael Dubois de Costo. Mr. Kitsuragi doesn't seem even slightly empathetic to your memory loss, Harry. I, however, wish to help you any way I can. This?
This translates into, haha, you guys are so corrupt.
I find that very suspicious. May I have a look?
I'm afraid this is meant for Union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry.
As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it. Is he trying to hide that it's not a real RCM folder?
It's not RCM.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your actions here in Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi from the Census Bureau. Like I said, no.
That means he doesn't really know anything about you.
Good.
A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on.
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
It's stinky.
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt. A steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had something to do with the murder. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values.
Exactly.
But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you. Jean-Luc, the cop who bested you in physical combat is here, and he has a little dead body in a tree problem. Namely, he needs it to be taken down. Please extend him this courtesy. You can find Luke down at the gates, but you already knew that. Anyway, he's going to help you. Now that he's back on his feet. Yes. What's that, Harry? See you soon.
Lonesome. Long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market. Past...
Sigh. Speed. Feel like the drug speed? There we go, let's go down. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Hey, your boss gave you an order, bitch.
Your race descent has temporarily halted, but you will fall again. So it was. You bested me in race combat to reach my superior, then had him give me an order.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
There's a but.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. But
this is the uncomfortable result of not taking it down ourselves.
Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious race may yet prove feared. Fine. Goodbye. Return to your degeneracy.
The man looks at you.
You are mad, Santiago. Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
God damn it.
The woman's gaze follows me.
So, you guys are like cops or something? Look at him. His craniometric perfection. Cool. I like men with guns and power. I'm Katya.
You hear that? That sound. He's breaking.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Everott's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now?
And who are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you?
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez.
Fucking Cuno.
It's Cuno. The man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. Farewell, ham sandwich. You are a union man.
Let's go back down. Hey, do you think one of those tattoos?
Looking for something?
Never mind.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body.
The RCM's 4-phase murders.
The fuck are they on about? Cop's gonna cut his shit up!
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain, from autopsy to cleanup. An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able, usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you were. It's either this, or we complete the initial interviews. We already met Everard, that only leaves the Wild Pines representative. There's one in town, negotiating the strike. She could have information.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Come back.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest I'll ask you when I need you to. For the most part, maybe I should handle the contact and you take notes? In your paperwork, officer, just fill out the field autopsy form.
Now they only have one paperwork.
God damn it.
Officer, what haven't you missed? Yes, barely. I can give you my paperwork. There's an autopsy form there. Several, actually. but only if it helps move things along. Yes, well,
It's okay to cry, Runkari.
right. The autopsy form is near the end.
You find a moment as the lieutenant inspects the still. You can make out a case with a curious title. The Man. This appears to be a case investigated about 3 weeks ago. A workplace accident. The titular character's wife tries to get compensation. The company was not forthcoming. It's very hard to draw conclusions. It's not spelled out explicitly, but the lieutenant fears a tear is forming between the liberal moralist establishment of Revachol and her populist citizenry. This populist force, a potpourri of far right and left, is exemplified. Their strike, if allowed to escalate into violence, adds to the growing sense of civil war in the city. He's extremely neutral, even in his notes. But avoiding this escalation is Kim's primary concern when dealing with the situation. Maybe you're imagining it, but there are some remarks in there, and they're not all negative. You're referred to as, and the 41st comes off as a moderately competent detective.
What?
The dead man stares in silence as you click above those, and 11.
That's you.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just like
KK57. Next, NA. Next, NA. Roughly 50.
Dry 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. He nods.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mwindi. The pudgy mess of curdled meat.
Fucky, fucky!
Great.
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly.
We're still going with March 4th, 51. What else? 9. Body identified by
KK57.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
A silent nod. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then
we should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his
clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of...
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from... The assistant has a color... The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color, yellow. Length, 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8
Hey, that's how tall I am, roughly.
Generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is... Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short. Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs.
Fucking low velocity?
Yeah.
You think Cuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Cuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consist ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters. The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
Always good to think ahead. Now, We need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
You are? You're Cuno's pig?
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there. Steady now. After some deliberation,
we got it.
You snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact.
Oh, wow.
Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
The dead man's penis is sized, congested by the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length.
Back is symmetrical and intact.
Well,
Upper
I did
and lower
that.
extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades. Dispersal and accumulation.
We have a real museum. Last item, hands.
The hand feels heavy, filled with decay liquids, like it's ready to explode if squeezed hard enough. You're suddenly repulsed, so much so you feel compelled to drop it.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Ooh.
Alright.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous?
Alright, we back.
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
Yeah, it's a tongue bone.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. And respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth.
No scream. No sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside.
No scream?
It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like
Sweet?
you're about to throw up again. Straight in that mouth of his. It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction inside. You see
hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary, NA. Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
No.
Hepato means liver, and biliary, the gallbladder and bile ducts. Nothing in your alcohol-soaked memory directs to...
Neither am I. That's it. Same for toxicology and serology. And cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck.
Be thorough if you want maximum...
Oh, so we inflicted them? You mean the spin-stabilized munition from a Kill A990? That was not a team effort. I just missed my shot. Also, let's not mention it. Muddies the water. Injuries. Head,
Bite marks.
Chest and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted.
Okay.
And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury. So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury. A stone. The injury does not have the rim of an...
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum...
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man.
Right. Next, a dark red...
This is the thing that killed him, yeah.
Encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact.
Tongue bone.
I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
Why do you say that? Okay. Why don't you think it was fatal? Honestly, I'm not sure there weren't marks on his wrist. That part got blurry for me.
Blurry?
Stench. But you're right, I was ready to call this. Now I think we should leave it empty, at least for the time being.
Thank you, Kim.
Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. It was an irregular field autopsy. We did not establish cause of death, which is supposed to be the goal of an autopsy. We were thorough with the list of injuries too.
Good.
We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a profession. Now we put him in a body bag and I drive him to Forborg for processing.
The lieutenant looks at the dead man. You tilt your head. I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something. Your arm reaches out, and your eyes close, as if by their own...
What's this?
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips, like they are swollen shut. You need to only the little one fits. The flesh changes shape as you bore in, searching.
The fuck is he doing?
Fuck off, Cuno.
The thing you're looking for, it's not there. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to a vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from his... You see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
I see it.
Cuno is silent. A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index fits right in there.
All right.
A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers.
The fuck is happening?
Ah, shit, see?
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again. Never. Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both. This is what he used to regulate his emotions with. The lieutenant answers with a sound.
Fucking cavity, see?
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Ice-cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger. There's a tiny crack. A protrusion in the cranium. The object that is in there...
We have the makings of very small...
Forget about the fucking exit wound, Beano. The pig is wearing him like a fuck puppet.
There we go. He was shot.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp.
My pig's fucking got it?
What? What is it?
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in...
Fucking beautiful!
A bullet.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the...
A non-caliber. Rifle. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact. No, you deserve it. We can log it later. Looks like we need to add one more item to your injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound? Opinion,
sounds right.
Fatal injury. And one last thing. We can now fill in injury number 3. Ligament mark. Opinion
Exactly.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
Yes, and the belt around his neck. The hanging. Even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead. I have had my doubts for a while now. Since I saw that. There have been other signs too. Small things.
Good.
We were right not to assign hanging as cause of death, as the perpetrators expected we would. No, sir.
There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
To put him out of his misery? It's possible, but it does not explain all the other dubious things here.
Exactly.
Lack of struggle, primarily. That's for us to find out. But to hide something. The real killer? The real motive? Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it. We put him in a bag and carry him to the holding pen of... I would drive him to processing, but it's too late to do that. One more thing. This was really good work, detective. All right.
There go those beautiful
There you go.
enamel boots. May they... Oh, well, in another life.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take...
Let's go. Alright, let's save and quit. I can get an Overwatch for a little bit. This was good though. Good game tonight. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. I'll be on Overwatch in a few. Until then, bye.